there. Now let's take a look at Jesus, a socialist, because I've heard some people say, well, wasn't Jesus a socialist, early church and all that? Well, let's take a look at the scripture that surrounds it. And we know socialism hadn't been invented as a political philosophy, so we're talking principle. Take a look at the book of Acts, early church.
And all who believed were together and had all things in common. And they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need.
Okay, Acts 4.
There was not a needy person among them, for as many as were owners of lands or houses sold them and brought the proceeds of what was sold and laid it at the apostles' feet, and it was distributed to each as any had need.
Wow.
So today, if you own a home, no, just kidding.
From each according to his ability, to each according to his need, eh, comrade? No, I mean, this is where a lot of people say, hey, look, the early church, Jesus obviously advocated socialism. Here's the thing, and it's a question, okay? Was the structure of the early church, including its communal living, because it was communal, it wasn't communist, it was communal, was it descriptive or was it prescriptive? Meaning, does it describe what they did or does it prescribe what we also must do? There's a difference.
Yeah.
Not everything in the Bible is prescriptive. Sometimes it's descriptive. For instance, greet the brethren with a holy kiss. When's the last time you smooched somebody with 5 o'clock shadow, guy?
This morning.
Well, I said guy, not gal.
Oh, okay.
There's some things that are descriptive, a little cultural and so forth. What I want you to see here is that I am of the persuasion it was descriptive. How do we know? The very next chapter of Acts, the Apostle Peter indicates that private wealth and possessions, including properties, were perfectly fine, that any giving in this nature had to be voluntary. So, was the early church's voluntary and temporary communal living a reasonable expectation to force on all of society? No, and they didn't even try to. It was within the early church in the very beginning, and it was not to advocate for the Roman government or the Sanhedrin to do this. And so when individuals say, see, you got to be a socialist because of this, and I have a pastor friend who's Canadian who considers himself a soft socialist. You can be a socialist and be a Christian. That's not the point. The point of this is to say, hey, look, you can't mandate from this that this is the Christian position, because if you're going to do that, here's my other question. Are you going to let the church then dictate the rest of public policy? No. Are you going to take everybody's tax money and lay it at ministers' feet and let them distribute it? Didn't think so.
No.
So the answer to this is no. Throughout the New Testament, it's clearly demonstrated that the early church always respected personal property rights and did not require communal sharing of members' money and possessions.